This is the Music History Today podcast for November the 22nd. On today's show, the world loses Michael Hutchence JFK, and Marconi incorporates. First up, though, on this date in 1907, the Marconi Wireless Company of America was incorporated. It was the world's first radio company. In 1927, George Gershwin's musical Funny Face premiered on Broadway. In 1928, the orchestral work Bolero from composer Maurice Ravel premiered at the Opéra Comique in Paris, France. It was one of Ravel's final pieces before health issues restricted his ability to write music. In 1938, Bunny Berrigan and his big band recorded the song Jelly Roll Blues in New York City. In 1943, Broadway lyricist Lorenz Hart passed away from pneumonia at the age of 48. In 1957, Miles Davis played at Carnegie Hall in New York City. In 1957, same day, Simon and Garfunkel performed their song Hey Schoolgirl on the television show American Bandstand, but as the duo Tom and Jerry, which they were known as at that point. In 1961, Elvis Presley's movie Blue Hawaii premiered. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy Jr. was assassinated. The event sparked lyrics and songs like Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. In 1964, entertainer extraordinaire Miss Rosemary Clooney remarried actor Jose Ferrer after divorcing him only 3 years earlier. In 1965, the musical Man of La Mancha opened on Broadway. In 1965, same day, Bob Dylan married model and actress Sarah Lowndes. In 1967, the BBC banned the Beatles song I Am the Walrus because the word, and if I say this, it's going to sound weird, so I'll just spell it. Knickers, because the way it would come out as the N-word, and that's not a good thing to say. So, that word was in the lyrics, and that's why the BBC banned the song. Go figure. In 1979, Tony Orlando returned to performing after interrupting his tour for 6 months in order to deal with multiple deaths of friends who were close to him in his life, including his good friend, comedian Freddie Prinze Sr., who starred at the time on the sitcom Chico and the Man, and of course is the father of actor Freddie Prinze Jr. In 1982, the British new wave group Japan broke up after their final performance on this date in Nagoya, Japan. In 1986, entertainer extraordinaire Mr. Scatman Crothers passed away at the age of 76. In 1989, the movie Back to the Future 2 premiered in movie theaters. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers played the part of future Marty McFly's friend Douglas J. Needles, who always got future Marty into an awful lot of trouble. In 1997, INXS lead singer Michael Hutchence passed away at the age of 37. In 2000, Tool's former manager Ted Gardner sued the band and their record company for breach of contract. In 2003, ZZ Top performed the final concert that was held at the Compaq Center in Houston, Texas. On that same day, singer and actress Carmen Electra married Dave Navarro of Jane's Addiction and also the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And also on that same day, country music singer Winona Judd of the duo The Judds married her husband D.R. Roach. In 2011, singer-songwriter Ashley Simpson's divorce from Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy was finalized. And in 2019, Polestar announced that U2 was the top-earning touring artist of the 2010s. They grossed over $1 billion in touring revenue. In award ceremonies that were held on November the 22nd, it's an All-American Music Awards edition. In 2005, Will Smith and Kelly Clarkson were among the big winners at the American Music Awards. In 2009, Taylor Swift was among the big winners at the American Music Awards, but the ceremony caused controversy because Adam Lambert kissed a male dancer on stage during a performance, with the dancer's consent, by the way, which upset more than a few far-right conservatives. In 2015, Ed Sheeran and One Direction were among the big winners at the American Music Awards, and in 2020, Taylor Swift and The Weeknd were among the big winners at the American Music Awards. Albums that were released on November the 22nd include in 1963 when the Beatles released With the Beatles, but only in the UK on that date. 5 years later, in 1968, the Beatles were at it again, this time releasing The Beatles, aka The White Album, considered by many critics to be one of the greatest albums ever recorded. In 1968, same day, Dusty Springfield released Dusty Definitely. In 1974, Miles Davis released Get Up With It. In 1977, Chic released their self-titled album. In 1988, Chaka Khan released CK, and Bette Midler released the soundtrack to the movie that she was starring in, Beaches. In 1992, Kool and the Gang released Unite. In 1994, John Hyatt released Hyatt Comes Alive at Budokan, and Aerosmith released Box of Fire, with ZZ Top releasing One Foot in the Blues. In 2003, Rory Gallagher released Meeting with the G-Man. In 2004, U2 released their big album, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. In 2005, Billy Joel released My Lives. In 2005, same day, Rush released R30, the 30th Anniversary World Tour, and System of a Down released Hypnotize. And in 2010, Nicki Minaj released Pink Friday, and Kanye released My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy along with My Chemical Romance, releasing their album Danger Days, The True Lives of the Famous Killjoys. And in 2011, Motorhead released their live album The World Is Ours, Volume 1, Everywhere Further Than Every Place Else. Singles that were released on November the 22nd include in 1965 when Stevie Wonder released Uptight Everything's All Right. In 1999, Metallica with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra released Nothing Else Matters 99, the live single. And in 2006, Neo released So Sick. Before we continue, we'd like to tell you that we've started Season 2 of the Music History In-Depth podcast, where we go more in-depth on some of the events that we mention on this particular podcast. The Music History In-Depth podcast drops every Tuesday on this podcast network. Now, back to the Music History Today podcast. Artists who were born on November the 22nd include little Steven Van Zandt of the E Street Band, Tina Weymouth of the Talking Heads, band leader Hoagy Carmichael, Dennis Lardon of Every Mother's Son, composer Arthur Sullivan, Karen O of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Rod Price of Foghat, Sonny Gurecki of The Outsiders, Family Man Barrett of Bob Marley and the Wailers, Stephen Caldwell of the Orlons, Floyd Sneed of Three Dog Night, singer Terry Stafford, Sendog of Cypress Hill, Jesse Colin Young of the Youngbloods, Ron McClure of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Lawrence Gowan of Styx, and Kenny Jeremiah of Soul Survivors. Artists who unfortunately passed away on November the 22nd, other than the ones mentioned earlier, include pianist August Klengel, violinist Ludwig Spoor, songwriter Septimus Winner, musician Darvich Khan, organist Pietro Jan, film composer Francois de Roubaix, singer Ted Taylor, singer L.V. Johnson, singer and actress Norma Donaldson, accordionist Ambrose Sam, jazzman and producer Norman Granz, guitarist Rod Price of Foghat, who passed away on his birthday, jazz drummer Paul Motain, John Hendricks of Lambert, Hendricks and Ross, opera music singer Dmitry Horovstovsky, sitar player Imrat Khan, organist Stephen Cleobury, singer-songwriter Pablo Milanes, R&B singer Gene Knight, and Harry Williams of the group Bloodstone. Next on the Music History Today podcast, it is November the 23rd when in 1936, blues icon Robert Johnson recorded for the very first time.